Hey guys, it's GraysonDel and thank you for coming to the channel. If you already are subscribed, then you already know that I do a lot of gaming content, product reviews, and things of that nature. The whole editing of videos has been relatively new to me, but today we're going to be doing a review or product review of the Aerox 9. I've been using it for about 4 days and I have some thoughts. We're going to get into the specifics of the weight. We're going to talk about the clickiness of the buttons. We're also going to go into the build quality, and then a slight unboxing as well. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed what you see, please leave a like and subscribe, as it helps me make more content the time I spend on these product reviews. And if you feel like I'm lacking something or I should be adding something to the reviews, please do not hesitate to let me know. Your feedback is valuable. Alrighty, let's get into it. Hi everyone, it's GraysonDel. We're going to do a product review on the Aerox 9 SteelSeries ultralight weight MMO / MOBA mouse. I already did an unboxing of the mouse, but unfortunately when I did the recording, I ended up forgetting to actually record audio. We have a few mice here. You're seeing on the right hand side here, we have the Logitech Superlight 2. This is the Dex edition. We have the Razer Naga Pro. This is the wireless with the interchangeable plates, and we have a Razer Naga, which, you know, I would assume is like the direct competitor, the same market for MMO and MOBA-esque mouse. And then I also have a scale, which we will get into the measurements and the amount of weight in grams when that time comes. Like I said, I've already unboxed it. I've been using it for a few days. This is just a re-recording, so I didn't have to cut any seals. First thing that sticks out to you if you're going through here is going to be the sensor that they're using. They're using a sensor system called the TrueMove Air. It has 18,000 CPI. The maximum speed on the mouse is 400 IPS. We have a 1000 Hertz polling rate, which is okay for MOBAs and it's okay for MMOs. Obviously, if you're in a first-person shooter environment, you're going to want mice that will have, I would say standard issue is like 4,000 polling rate, or even with the Superlight, you get an 8,000 polling rate on the Logitech Superlight. So this has 8,000 polling rate, if that's something that interests you. Okay, so we have 18 programmable buttons, meaning that every single button on this mouse can be programmed and changed to fit whatever need you want, which is really nice. They've rated the mouse for 80 million clicks, meaning that before you run into any issues, you should expect to get 80 million clicks out of the mouse. In regards to the connections, we have a USB Type-C connection to charge the mouse and to use it wired. And then for the connectivity options you have the wired, the 2.4 gigahertz, and the Bluetooth thing. So you get 3 options. The Bluetooth is going to give you 180 hours of battery life, where if you're using the 2.4 gigahertz, you're going to get 75 hours of battery life. And obviously if you're wired, you're charging the mouse at the same time, which is really nice. In regards to the other details, the mouse is compatible with the PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation. It has a right-handed design. It does have a matte finish on it. Onboard memory. It uses a 3-zone Prism RGB system going through the mouse as well, which would be really nice. And then we have water resistance of IP54, which I believe is not only water resistant but dust resistant. So that's a good thing to have, especially because it's open and vented like this. You don't want dust ruining your components. It's a weight of 89 grams, so that's going to be interesting to kind of test. Designed in Denmark, which is really nice. All right, we got the mouse. I'll take the mouse outside of the box. These are the skates, which are 100% virgin PTFE, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to make sure I'm reading that correctly. PTFE, yeah. These skates are pretty thick. I'm not gonna lie. You can see a little bit of wear and tear on it as I've been using it a little bit. The power switch is really stiff. You have to put some significant force to either side, and I'm not even lying when I say that, like, that click, just loud. And it requires a tremendous amount of force. You'll see on the back here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one underneath the skate for your RGB. You can also see kind of the illumination on the underside of the board inside of the mouse. So we got 5 RGB lights located inside. If you do Bluetooth, you get blue, which is really interesting. And then if you switch it to the 2.4, you're gonna get white. And then you'll get the colors once you have connected the wireless dongle. Let's keep going going inside the box here, I do want to show you everything that comes in the box when you make the purchase. We have the wire. I've done a poor job of wrapping it and and pretty much all of that jazz. So when you get in here, you're gonna see the wire. You have your Velcro strap. That's really nice Velcro strap. When we get inside the box here, we're gonna open up the tab here, and then we have in the tab we have our extension, which is what you're gonna use for your dongle, and then whenever you need to charge your mouse, you just take this off and you can charge your mouse. And then over here we have a little slab. You lift this slab, it picks the dongle up, which is nice. And this is your wireless dongle. Almost has like a pizza shape cut on both sides. So that's everything you get in the box. A 6.5 foot cable. So the cable is 6.53 inches. And then you got your dongle extension adapter. And then you have your wireless dongle right here. Alrighty, just to make it less distracting, we're gonna turn off the mouse here and we're gonna place the mouse on the scale. They had it rated for 89 grams. Right now the mouse is at 89 grams. Mind you, when I first did the weight on this, I was actually at 88 grams. And just to show you a little bit of a comparison, I'm gonna use the Superlight here to show you the weight of the Superlight. Superlight's at 59 grams. This is the Razer Naga Pro. This is a heavy mouse, very heavy, and you can definitely feel it. And that's at 117 grams. You're looking at around 96 grams. And the wire variation is gonna be around 84. We're gonna look at the side profile. So on the Aerox 9, we have what almost follows like a Corsair scimitar side panel. It's more sharp and more pronounced. But if you look at like the Razer Naga, you'll see that it's more higher, it's more spread out, and it has like a higher profile where it's not like, you know, sloped in a downward angle. Just something to be mindful of. Let's go into the sounds. Okay, so that's on the Aerox 9. I'll be honest with you, the side panel buttons are very quiet. If you are picky about sound, you cannot hear the side buttons on this one. Your 1 all the way to 12 is going to be pretty quiet. And I'll just do it right next to the Aerox so you can kind of get a side-by-side comparison of what it sounds like. It's very noticeable, the side buttons are pretty loud, but in comparison to the Naga, all right, so that's everything about the mouse there. One thing I can say is that I do like the Type-C connection on the front of the mouse here. It's very sleek. And the cable routes really nicely in there. So when you're looking at it, it has a indent, I guess you could say. So it sits in there and you have a Type-C to Type-A connector dongle here, which is nice. And then obviously that's when you're charging the mouse, and then the extension cable, and then you would plug your dongle. Obviously for presentation's sake, you would probably do it like this, but because it is a Type-C connector, you can put it vice versa, any direction you like. All right, since I've been using the Aerox 9, a few things that I've noticed in my personal opinion that I wasn't too fond of, I guess you could say, is how stiff those side buttons are. I mean, like, they're really stiff. You really feel it in your thumb. I don't like how it's not very tactile. The homing button that you get on the side button's only on the 5. And I have a pretty decent sized hand, and my hand was sitting roughly around the 1 and the 4 on the bottom of the mouse on the side panel. But the issue I was running into was when I was reaching for 3, I almost needed to do like a side grip, so I'm not holding the mouse in a way that feels normal to me, as I prefer like a palm grip when I'm gripping a mouse. But I can't comfortably hit that 3 without hitting the 6, you know, right next to it. So it was a little bit hard for me to adapt to that, where on the Razer Naga, I can palm the mouse. I hit all the numbers very comfortably. My girlfriend, her thumb was sitting on the 7 for some dumb reason. And mind you, she has way smaller hands. Like, I don't know what they were thinking when they made the mouse. I guess for me, it wasn't exactly something I was thrilled about. I also don't like the holes on the mouse button, especially because of how you have to kind of hold the mouse. You'll notice that your hands are going to be sitting on the holes rather than, you know, up in the front here, because you can't really palm this mouse comfortably unless you're like sitting on top of the mouse like this, and then your fingers, like if I wanted to palm it in the way that they intended for me to hit that 3 very comfortably, I'd be like that. I found myself doing a claw grip using this mouse, and claw grip is not something I've ever done comfortably, so this mouse is definitely going to take some time to get used to. I actually, like I said, don't like the mouse. I don't think the mouse was designed for the everyday user. I like that they gave it a shot and they tried their best. To me, it feels like an FPS mouse pretending to be an MMO mouse just because they added the buttons on the side. Frankly, it's not actually something I'm super happy with. I was very disappointed with the mouse, especially at 150 bucks. I just thought, you know, maybe it would be a little bit more comfortable. And like I said, my thumb was really exhausted after just 3 hours of playing World of Warcraft on a weekend. And I'll tell you, my thumb was really was killing me. I understand that I gave the mouse not the best review, so I do want to let that be known that I do think that the mouse does have some redeeming qualities. The fact that it's the first of its kind to be lightweight in comparison to like the Logitech G600, the Corsair Scimitar, and the Razer Naga. It's the lightest of all of the MMO mice that I'm aware of, at least. All right, that's going to wrap up my review of the SteelSeries Aerox 9. Overall, it's a powerful, lightweight mouse that's clearly built for players who want control, speed, and customization all in one package. It's not perfect, but for MMOs and MOBA fans, or honestly anyone who loves options, it definitely earns its place on the shortlist, but it's at the back as it did not blow me away. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, go ahead and drop a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to see more reviews like this, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss the next one. These reviews are getting more refined with each drop, and I'll be diving deeper into more features as we go. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay curious. Peace.